welcome back. Come on, welcome back. It's a welcome. Okay. Hello viewers and welcome back to another exciting episode of Career Chronicles, where we give you all things careers. This means we are giving you an exclusive look into the different industries, the different trades and career paths that various influential people have in our country today. And in this amazing show, my name is Pukuriatva and I will be your host. So just to shed a little bit of light on our Careers Chronicles show, we will be having a spotlight segment where we interview a very, very trailblazing personality in their respective careers, giving you an insight on how things work, the ins and outs of their careers, and exactly what you need to know to want to venture into that career path. We also have our expert advice, where we get an expert to tell you everything that you need to know about the career path that they're in. And last but not least, we do have our local resources showing you where to go should you want. So without any further ado, viewers, you are officially into the Careers Chronicle world. Check this out. Welcome back, viewers, and today we are at our spotlight segment with an amazing, trailblazing, influential person in society that is none other than Dr. Julita Kitwe. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. So I have so much we're going to get into, so much we want to know about you. But before I get into all of the theatrics, can you tell us and the viewers for themselves, who are you?
Okay, so my name is Dr. Julita Kitwe Mbangula. I am a medical doctor by profession. I'm also an ex-pageant queen, so a model, and a content creator. That's basically in essence who I am.
Wow, we have so much to get into, but of course we need to start with now your foundation. We want to talk about your background, your upbringing. How did all of this come about? What were your first interests? What school did you go to? How was your education life? Can you tell us more about that?
I don't think I have a very different upbringing than average Namibian child. I went to a public school my entire life, Charles Anderson in Ongwediva. Wow. And then I also went to a Tosha secondary school. That's where I completed my matric. I'm locally trained to be a doctor here at the University of Namibia. And yeah, that's it.
Wow. Now, let us know, what were your passions growing up as a kid? Were you one of those kids that did a lot of extracurricular activities? Did you always know that you wanted to be a doctor, or the medical field was for you? Or how did you come about getting that spark?
Definitely did a lot of extracurricular activities, participated in choir, drama, dancing, modeling from a very young age.
Wow.
The passion for becoming a doctor really stems from my mother, who's a nurse. So I always tell this story about how just seeing her and talking to her, working in the hospital, had really influenced me and ignited the passion to become a doctor. So I've known since a very tender age that this is the career path that I wanted to take in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that from a mother's words. Mm-hmm. What would you say is one of the qualities that stuck out that you saw in her profession that kind of drew you in it? What was it about it? Is it taking care of people? Is it the environment? Is it a social responsibility that you personally feel, or what came about bringing that?
Definitely the social responsibility aspect of things. The career in itself is very selfless. So you find yourself putting yourself at the back and putting your patients before you, before your family, before your interests. So that to me was very important. And on top of that, I've always wanted to venture into a career that was indisposable, that was completely useful for the rest of my life. And being a doctor really provides that kind of platform.
Wow, beautiful. And you guys are saving the world. So on that, you were speaking about being selfless and how this is something that you've picked up, you've put yourself sort of towards the back, and pageantry is completely opposite from that. So I know it was a very new world, a new environment. So how did you get into it? Like, where did the confidence come from? Obviously, you're very stunning, so that wasn't a problem. But now just stepping into the limelight after being on the back for so long, how was that transition for you?
You know, it's funny that you say that, because I've never viewed myself as the stunning woman or I'm the most beautiful one in a room. I've just had an interest, and I'm born with that gene of if I see somebody do something, I feel like I can do it as well. So from a very young age, I participated in local pageants just for fun. It was initially just for fun. What really set it apart for me to pursue it as a passion was after I joined Miss Namibia in 2019. That for me was a moment where I was like, okay, I really like doing this. I like how confident I feel after participating in a pageant. I like the social responsibility that comes with it. So after participating in Miss Namibia 2019, where I placed as the first runner-up, I really was like, okay, this is something that I like, and I will continue to pursue it until I can't anymore.
Wow, and then you graced the stage and took the crown home of being Miss Supranational 2022. Tell us about that journey, and how did you sort of balance now your newfound calling, so to say, with now the medicine? Because I'm assuming you were still studying in that time, or how did you find your feet?
So, interesting story is when I did Miss Namibia initially, I was a final year medical student towards the end of my 6th year. So that was interesting. And then again, when I participated in Miss Supra, I was in my final year of internship. So that was a very tricky situation to maneuver. On one hand, I had the opportunity to finish my education within a timely fashion, and at the other hand, there was this opportunity of a lifetime that I could never get ever again.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I looked for loopholes. And once you have a passion for something and you want to do something, you look for a loophole. And there are loopholes everywhere. So I took some time off of being an intern and I pursued this journey, and it was just really amazing.
Wow, and I'm sure it was so rewarding as well. Finally breathing, seeing yourself outside of this profession. And please tell us, do you feel in your profession, being a medical doctor, do you feel like you're tied down to just being solely stuck in your profession, or do you, and like you said, there are loopholes, do you feel like that is a profession where you can venture into other things as well?
Absolutely not. I'm definitely one in 100,000 because I like to take chances. The culture in medicine is basically once you're a doctor, that's just who you are. You're nothing more, nothing less. But I consider myself as a multifaceted person, and there are so many layers to who I am and my abilities that I cannot be confined to just being a doctor. If I've, God forbid, lose my title as a doctor, I'm still able to live a fulfilled life because my purpose and my life and the value that I bring is not tied to that title. And a lot of people in the medical fraternity tie their value to being a doctor. I'm a doctor, and this is just it. I've made it. Your identity. But I have discovered that there's more to me as an individual than just being a doctor. That is just one part of my life that ends at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whatever time that I knock off. But then after that, there's this entire human being with an entire different kind of life and interest outside of the hospital.
Wow, that is beautiful. And just to now shed a little bit more of light on that before we go really deeper, like an overview of your career. Who are you behind the title? Like, who is Julita? What does she like doing in her free time? Besides, being a pageant queen and a doctor, like what other interests do you have?
That's basically it. I love doing a lot of community work. I venture into a lot of interactions with young girls with a passion to study medicine. That's why I've also created platforms like the Hermosa Mimosa, where I just gather young girls and also women that are accomplished in the medical career, where we sit and we talk about our experiences. How are you finding high school, on your journey to become a doctor? How are you finding internship or your medical career? So that's what I do. And in my free time, I'm basically usually at home. I don't go out as much.
Are you a series girl?
I'm a series girl. I'm in my house, just on the couch watching series because I need to recuperate from all the activities that I do during the day.
And it's so understandable, rightfully so. So now, just coming from that, what are some of the skills that you think is required by the medical industry? Like, coming from a young person, let's say, that's looking up to you, that's seeing, I want to be in her shoes, I want to venture into this. What are the key skills that they should focus on the road to becoming?
Okay, so obviously you have to be academically inclined. That's just for you to get into, just to get you into like the door. You have to be academically inclined. But the one thing that I have noticed is hard work. You can be the person that gets the lowest scores, but for as long as you're hardworking, you're willing to learn, you show up every day to give it your all, I think that makes you a contender to be a really good doctor. There's a lot of hard work that goes in it. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes in it. So I always try to advise young girls that when you make this decision, it's 10 years of your life essentially that you're studying.
Wait, it takes 10 years?
Yes. Essentially 10 years.
Because there's also residency. And
the residency comes after. That makes it now 12 years.
Oh, wow.
We're pushing 12 now.
A lot of years.
You do 6 years of just medical training. This is just, you're a baby doctor. You get your degree and then 2 more years of internship. And then you work as a medical officer as sort of like a middle senior level of becoming a doctor. And then if you want to specialize, then you have to go for an additional 4 or 8 years. So it's a journey.
Wow.
So you have to be sure.
And you need to be very obviously dedicated and focused. What can you say are some of the resources that have helped you, be it an institution, be it people, be it connects, on really keeping you motivated, keeping you educated, open-minded? Like, I know some people get tutors, some people go to the kindergartens, see, do you want to be a pediatrician, do you want to do this? Like, have you ventured into anything particularly to drive you to kind of your path?
No, unfortunately I wasn't the kind of student that required a tutor, but it does help to have a good support system. And in that sense, it doesn't have to be somebody who's particularly in the same career that you are in, but having a mentor and somebody that's able to guide you through what life actually is outside of school or in the grand context of things, that's very important. So having a mentor has really been able to guide me through difficult paths, and when I'm unsure about a decision that I have to do, that's very important. And also like family support, just having to go cry to your mom because you failed a test, or life is a bit hard right now and you want to quit.
Let's not quit.
So like it's good to go to family members, your brothers, your sisters, someone that's able to support you because they just love you for who you are and not for what you're able to bring to the table.
Wow, and that's beautiful and a very important aspect. Now, to go deeper and sort of give us context now of your life today, we spoke about your background, your upbringing. How is the day-to-day life of a medical doctor? Like, we want to know what goes on behind the scrubs, behind the curtains. What are you guys up to?
There's a lot of studying that has to happen still.
Really?
It's a lifelong
thing. While you're
thing.
practicing?
Yes, while you're practicing. You're constantly trying to put yourself at an advantage that you know what's happening currently in terms of medicine. So my day-to-day, I would wake up at 6:30, I would work out, and then by 7:30 I'll be in theater because I'm practicing anesthesia at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'll be in theater until 3 o'clock, and then I knock off, and then the rest of the day I have to myself. Some days I am on call, so I work from 3 until the next day at 7, or I'd work a shift from 3 until 10 o'clock. It just really depends what the demand is, how many people we have on the ground. It's the more relaxed department.
You would say,
yeah,
to the others. Yeah. So now, just on that, what do you feel like are the areas of demand in medicine today? Like, what do you feel like people really need to focus on, because there is a big or a growing demand in that part of medicine?
I think education. Okay. Everything is preventable, I believe, if people are educated to find ways to mitigate whatever illnesses or problems that may arise. So we need to focus a lot on educating people in the language that they speak. It's different if we're giving out pamphlets or having videos in English than as opposed to Ocherero or Damara or Oshwambo. So it's the education aspect of things to people that don't have access to all of this information readily available as somebody in a town with internet that can just Google up a symptom or Google up something that they need to know. So education, 100%. Absolutely.
Wow. We have learned so much about the medical profession. We have learned about the glitz and the glam and all of the multifaceted areas of your life. What would you now give as a word of advice to a young person? They really, really want to do it. They really, because I feel like we see medicine, it's a very glorified field, but we kind of see it as something that's up there and sort of unattainable in a way. But then at the end of the day, you doctors, the professionals, they are people at the end of the day, and we all started somewhere. So what's one piece of advice that you would really give someone that wants to accomplish what you have?
I think initially find your why. Why do you want to do this? Is this for self-gratification? Are you doing it for somebody else? Do you want to do it because you want people to refer to you as a doctor? You want people to see that you have this thing? Why are you venturing in this career in the first place? That sort of helps you have a compass as to what direction you need to take. And also do your research. Find out a little bit more about the career that you're trying to get into. How many hours are you going to work? Are you willing to put your family at the back of the seat while you are, pursuing this career? Are you willing to sacrifice? Is that something that you want to do? Do you want to do a 24-hour call? Do you want to do a 36-hour call? Or do you want a job that, knocks off at 5 and weekends you're off? So those are kind of the things that you need to think about before saying, okay, I really do want to be a doctor. And always know that everything comes from hard work. It's attainable. It can be done. You just have to work really hard. You have to sacrifice, and you get what you want.
Wow. Yep. Powerful, powerful words from Dr. Julita Kitwe. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and sharing your insights. I'm sure people got a lot from this. I know I did. If a doctor can do several things and they are complete polar opposites, I'm sure I can pick up that extra hobby or pick up that extra trait that's going to help me in the future with something. It's never bad to have a side hustle. But thank you so much for coming on our Careers Chronicles show. It has been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful.
All right, viewers, we will catch you right after this.
Good morning, my name is Patricia Kutsia and I'm going to take you through Network Media Hub, and this is where I work. So let's go to our first pit stop. Let me just say, where are we going? Network TV. So now we're going to take a trip down the newsroom to see our 3 newspapers and our network television. So here in the newsroom, we have the AZ, we have the Republic and the Namibian Sun journalists who sit here. We also have the MyZone team and the NTV team. The NTV is our television production team. These are the people who edit our videos, they do our sound check qualities, and they are responsible for you to see all the content on our DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25. But let's not stop here, we have a few more pit stops to go to. So we're here in another department within NMH, and this is where all our software development takes place. So the people in this department, they are dedicated specialists to come up with user-friendly digital solutions that benefit the company and our employees. So let's take a look around. Hi again. I want to show you the people responsible for creating the classifieds in our 3 main newspapers. So let's not keep them waiting. Let's go see. So in this segment of this episode, we're going to go to Synergy. This is our digital marketing space, as well as where our client executive experts are seated. So they make sure that the relationships between NNH and its different entities and the clients out there get what they want. So it's a win-win situation, and all the content you see out there, they kind of manage it. So let's go see the faces behind Synergy. I'm just gonna go to Hancho. It's just that and then this here at the back. That's about all the time we have today to show you around Network Media Hub, but just know that there's so much more happening in this creative space. We have shows, we have publications, we have focus and special editions. Just to mention some of the shows from my zone's department specifically, we have shows catered to the youth, for example, Generation C, What's Cooking, Active Kids, Blitz Focus, Straight Talk, Flex, you name it. We have news-orientated shows like Sunset News, Smell the Coffee, and so much more. We have sports, we have entertainment, we have the energy sector cover and agriculture. So everything under one roof. This is definitely the place where creativity can spark and news come to life in so many ways. So thank you for taking this tour with me at Network Media Hub.
Yes, good afternoon, or is it still morning rather? But either way, good afternoon. My name is Sebastian. My surname is Chupa. I'm a case coordinator at the Motor Vehicle Accident Fund, shortened to MVA Fund. Yeah, thank you for joining us this afternoon in this short discussion that we're going to have.
Okay, Sebastian, obviously, as a staff member of NVA, you've picked up experience along the way. Can you just take us through the importance of mentorship and how it has guided you throughout your career?
Yeah, you know, as they say, Rome was not built in one day. And there's also a saying that says that a baby was never born walking. There should always be guidelines, and they should, not guidelines rather, but you should always be guided. When I entered the fund, I was slightly immature per se in doing things, and I was still new and fresh from school. So I needed someone to let my foot stand. With the help of mentors from the fund, they helped me boost my confidence. I was someone that was so scared of doing mistakes, without me knowing that, you know, when you make mistakes are part of life and they are part of learning. And as you go in life, you make mistakes, and that's how you learn. And I was so scared of making mistakes. But then I had people that would tell me to say that, look, mistakes are part of learning. Mistakes are part of life. So you are not supposed to be scared when you make a mistake. And also it helped me shape my focus. You know, as a child, as a young guy, when you are straight from school, definitely you'll have a lot of things you would want to touch here, you would want to touch here, you would want to focus on it, not necessarily have just one straight focus. You would want to do this, you would want to do, but with the mentorship that I got from people or my seniors here at the fund, it helped me focus on what is it that I'm currently doing, and what is it that is expected of me tomorrow, and what is it that I want to become tomorrow, or what is it that I want to become tomorrow. So and it really helped me that much. And also I gained vast or valuable insight with regards to the day-to-day operations of the fund, how the fund operates, how to follow the act, and just to ensure, sometimes we deal with clients that are traumatized, that have lost their loved ones. I was also guided on how to handle people that are a bit sensitive. And sometimes when you are talking to someone, you just speak to them in a way that you want to talk to them. But then when someone has lost someone special, you also need to show that there's some sympathy from your side. You are sympathizing with them after they lost their loved one. And also it helps you, like it also helped me define my goals. People at the fund knows me as I call myself. I say I'm a CEO in the making. Why do I call myself that? I am working on myself. Like a saying that says in English that you aim for the moon and you fall on the stars. My aim is one day, even if it's not necessarily at the fund, but one day to become a CEO. So that has showed me that I should, if I indeed want to become a CEO, I should define my goals in a way that they will help me achieve what I want to achieve. Yes.
Okay, Sebastian, you touched on mistakes. And mentorship is something that's quite universal. For someone that's straight out of varsity, a freshly graduated student, what approach would you use to guide them in a manner for them to prosper moving forward?
Okay, yeah. Like I said, the number one thing that you need to tell them is that mistakes are part of learning. They are part of the learning process. They should be able. They should be free, or they should be confident in doing what they want, what they are given to do, irregardless of them knowing that they're going to make mistakes or not. Because like I said, mistakes is what we learn from. If you don't make mistakes, then that means there is no learning taking place. So number one is that they should recognize the fact that not everyone is perfect. You can make mistakes. And number two is that you should be able to accept your mistakes per se. Or what I'm trying to say is that you should be able to, yes, this is the right way. You should be able to take responsibility, or you should be able to be held accountable for your actions. Because there is no way you would want to do something, but you would want someone else to account for what you did. So accountability is key. You should be able to account for your actions when you are in the process of learning. And number three is that after you fall, you should be able to stand up and redefine yourself. Because the mistake you made doesn't necessarily say that you are not good, or you are not good at what you were tasked with, or you are not good at what you do. But it's just that it's just a slip that you maybe just slipped along the way. But you wake up, or you stand up, you wipe yourself, and you redefine yourself and still pay forward. And then you should also start setting your goals in a way that you want to go.
And Sebastian, just to conclude things,
Yes.
could you just tell us one quote that you live by day?
The quote that I live by day is actually a quote from the Bible, and everyone at my workplace actually knows that that's a quote that always runs on my status everywhere I go. That's it. It's a quote. It's a Bible verse in I think it's Joshua chapter 60 verse 22, if I'm not mistaken, that says, "When the time is right, the Lord will make everything happen." So don't try to bombard yourself with a lot of things. don't try to hold on other. You know what we do mostly as young people. You want to focus on a lot of things at the same time. When this is not working out, when you see your peers are progressing, when you see your peers are moving forward, you also want to be at their level, whereas you do not know what struggles they went through for them to reach there. But now that's why this scripture says, when the time is right indeed, the Lord will make it happen. But now you just don't sit there and wait and say, oh, the Lord will indeed make. You should meet the Lord halfway. You should bring your part and He brings His part, because there should be an indication that shows that indeed this person wants to move somewhere. Yes, in a nutshell, that's it.
Okay, that will be all, Mr. Sebastian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, viewers, that is it that we have for Career Chronicles today. We hope that you enjoyed your journey down these different career paths as much as we did, and that you had your take-home message on what you want to do, got a little bit of advice from here to there, and really help you navigate your career path, which is one of the primary motivations of this show. But unfortunately, that is it that we have for today. Do not forget to catch us on our social media page, Careers